Podcast, episode 24. I am your host, Taylor, and I am joined by Andrew.
Hello.
All right. Anthony.
How you doing?
And Joel.
Oh,
Oh.
did that come out at all?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. There we go. All right. Joel
That's
is
heard ooh.
a little
Okay, I was just double checking. The mic is a bit haywire.
Joel's a little bit under the weather, it looks like, but he's soldiering through anyway for us. So thanks for coming on, Joel.
Well,
All right. So a little bit of introduction out of the way. What have you been doing lately for the site, Joel?
just finished another article. I've been on a break mostly due to uni exams and that sort of thing.
Very fun time.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be back in writing again.
Awesomeness.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any pieces planned coming up and whatnot, or tell me a little bit more?
I already got one on the way. The top 10 games in July. I'm stoked to do another Smite article. Hopefully, a review on the latest God because it actually looks good for once.
Oh, okay.
Normally they're like unbalanced and overpowered in some sort of way, but this one looks well balanced for once.
All right.
So yeah, hopefully that goes well.
Yeah.
Nice.
And right now I'm in the middle of editing a video, commentary on a Pokemon game that I'm playing. So yeah,
Excellent.
hopefully I'll get that done too.
All right. Cool. All right. So, Andrew, Anthony, and myself, are we all recovered from E3?
Yeah.
Almost. I'm
Yeah.
still very tired.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, I'm over it. Come on.
I don't know how you're.
I have
you
the
were-
flu.
Yeah, I don't know how you're alive.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Anthony,
Healthy diet of I don't know,
healthy diet of Twizzlers and Vegemite, right?
Coke and
Yeah,
all
Vegemite.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right.
2-minute noodles at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's
That's
great.
a lot.
Yeah. I will say it is very mentally exhausting to be like hosting and broadcasting for the amount of time that we did.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
It's like I would do it again. I would be willing
Yep.
to do it again next year. Don't get me wrong, but it does take a toll on you.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So, there's only really one major news topic to have. Other than that, guys, E3 only officially wrapped up on Thursday. Our coverage ended with the press conference because we had no one on the ground. So, which is fine. But yeah, it officially ended on Thursday. It was just a bunch of show floor stuff and everything that really happened from Tuesday to Thursday. And so, yeah, a lot of news is still coming out from the show floor and whatnot. So that kind of has been dominating the news cycle the past week.
Yep.
Since the last time
Definitely.
we were here recording. So that's largely what our discussion is going to be about today. A little bit of a post E3 hangover, as I would call it, and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, but before we get into that, there is a breaking news thing that's happening right now. This has only been developed in the past 2 hours or so. Many players playing Players Unknown Battlegrounds have started reporting today that after they lost a match, Steam was banning them from the game permanently.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Nice.
So, what do we think of this?
Was it like proven that it was just all false?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a bug. It looks like a bug
Ah,
just causing this to
Yeah.
happen.
Okay.
I mean, a game's pretty buggy, but that's like one of the worst bugs I think I've heard of in a long time.
Yeah.
That's a huge bug. At least it's not something like a whole spree for like banning for some reason.
Mhm.
Because I can't remember which game it was, but I remember there was some it was some multiplayer game as well where they just went on the spree of because they were hacked and then this person just went like banning them or something like that. But yeah, for that to happen, it's just I don't know, maybe that happened as well. Please, just a bug.
So once they are banned, how long does it take them to be unbanned?
Depends on how fast PUBG responds. That was actually the second part that I was going to get to. So PUBG, based in South Korea, and while their work week is pretty hellish, 5 days, it's like 5 days of some pretty hellish hours typically in the Korean business world and everything. A little bit similar to Japan. They do revere the weekends as time off, and so their community manager is quoted more than once saying, it's the weekend. Don't expect a lot of communication from us, etc., etc.
Sure.
type thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, there's definitely that to think about. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many players playing that game. Like, I wonder if there was some weird. I know, like when Rainbow Six Siege, there was some kind of weird like thing to boost your XP.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be doing that, then you got like banned later on.
Yeah.
So it could be like a similar thing, like if you were running in a certain like weekend event, and then I don't know, who knows?
Yeah. But it's like, and so all right, it is, at least it should be. In fact, it is actually. It is already Sunday in Korea, so which means a lot of the U.S. players and everything. We might get this resolved by Sunday at some point for us if it doesn't get resolved in a more timely fashion. I don't know whether or not there's been a precedent set by PUBG Corp into looking into this sort of stuff over the weekend. You'd think they'd be willing to call some people in because, this is affecting a lot.
Yeah.
This is definitely affecting a lot of things. And so, yeah.
Maybe I won't fire that game up today then. Maybe I'll wait a day.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I was thinking of playing it a little bit today, but I was like, ooh, no. And it's like, I'm delving into competitive CS quite a bit, Counter-Strike quite a bit, and nothing trying to. And maybe the worst part about being banned on PUBG is not only you're prevented from playing a game you might like, but also it's like you do show up as like having one game ban on record with your Steam profile until that gets reversed or whatever.
Wow.
And so if someone pulls, or it's like my profile up in CS, oh, you have one game ban on record. It's like that comes in where integrity comes into question,
Sure.
So, yeah, it's like that's even more of an incentive for me to not play this game. I will be playing Fortnite on my Switch. Yeah.
Is there a way to actually get rid of that the history of that ban on Steam? Like, can the actual Steam devs get rid of it?
Oh yeah, it is definitely possible. If PUBG notices Valve, hey, it's like we need all these players, like this needs to be scratched from their record type thing. But it's just like the brief amount of time that it exists or whatever type thing. So,
yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, well, you just have to go back to playing Ori and the Blind Forest.
Which I do not have any problem with. I
heard that was... I heard that was really good.
That's really good. Like, I just got it 2 days ago, and after 20 minutes I'd already cried. So
whoa.
Yeah. Have you not played it, Andrew?
No, I just thought it was like a really stylish platformer.
Nah, it's
really good.
It's so basic though. Like it's like you go into it and you don't expect to have any kind of connection to it because it's just like, it's a puzzler or like a platformer and whatnot. But then it's, I'm not going to give it anything away, but it's so like, it just grabs you, I suppose.
Well, all right. Awesome. It's like the early game is kind of basic. Once you get more and more abilities, it's like it does get quite a bit more complex.
Yeah. It hurts very hard as well.
I don't want to say it just randomly spikes in difficulty, but there is definitely like sort of a gap between. Yeah. It's like there is a noticeable gap. I noticed it while playing, but it didn't like hinder my experience in any way. But it is definitely noticeable. Yeah. Like, all of a sudden it wants me to do this, but I was just doing something. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just keep playing the game. I have fun looking at the pretty background, and Ori is cute. Ori is cute. All right, so I guess that leads great into the next topic to like sort of bring up the whole free discussion thing. What have you guys been playing this week, Joel? Anything?
Not really that much. Just like League of Legends and stuff like that. I did try to get Disgaea 2 back up and running on Steam, but every single time I opened it. So different ways to try and get it to work again. Apparently this is a widespread problem on so yeah. It's actually really
Yes.
depressing because
Oh.
I put in a lot of hours into it only for the game to no longer work.
Yeah.
So I tried deleting Steam, re-downloading it, deleting the game, re-downloading it.
What game was it again?
Disgaea 2.
Okay.
Okay.
So the best I could do was just send a crash report to the developers,
Yeah.
and hopefully they respond because I really want to get back into it. It's one of my
Hmm.
favorite games.
Okay. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, and then Anthony, Ori and the Blind Forest. Anything else?
Well, I was kind of craving some like Call of Duty zombie kind of situations, even though I am not a zombie person at all.
We
I
all get that itch
just
sometimes.
yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, man. So I've been playing a little bit of the original, and I haven't jumped into the campaign or anything yet.
Yeah.
By original you mean
World at War?
Black Ops?
The
or-
Black Ops, yeah,
Oh,
Black
okay.
Ops.
Okay.
World at
Black
War
Ops
is
1.
technically the original.
And apart from that, nothing really. I haven't really been gaming as much as what I've wanted to. Just been flat out with other things, E3 and all that, having just ended on Wednesday, and I've only really had Thursday and Friday to recuperate, I suppose. So, yeah.
All right. All right, Andrew, what have you been up to?
It's been a lot of trying to look at games, via internet, what looks interesting from E3, checking out
Yeah.
all the gameplay and such like that. So it's been a lot of my time, extra time doing that, like checking out stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Lots of games to look at. But playing wise, I fired up the Surge 2, or not the Surge 2, the Surge 1.
Okay.
So I fired up the Surge.
Yeah.
And that game's interesting. That game's kind of cool. It's like a Dark Souls-ish, like way faster and like in a mech, like you're kind of in like this weird like body mech suit.
Neat.
Yeah,
okay.
It's neat. It's pretty complicated. It seems like the way they do like the Souls stuff, it's different. Like you're not pouring it into certain stats. You're kind of just leveling up your base like character. And you don't really see all the like little stats. At least I haven't seen it yet. I'm only like an hour or two in.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it gets more complicated later. A little bit of that, and then I've been kind of trying to prep myself on Street Fighter V.
Nice.
Haven't played Street Fighter V in like months.
Nice.
And Cody's coming out. And that's like my favorite character from Street Fighter 4. So I got to remember how to play that game and how to, all the new stuff that's been added. I'm like, that doesn't work anymore. Okay, sure, I guess not.
Get good.
Yeah, trying.
Yeah.
Right? Like, trying to play my old character and like realize like I can't do that anymore. It just simply does not work.
Okay.
So yeah,
Fair
so
enough.
it's been a fun little time experimenting with that.
Okay. Very cool. Anything else?
Nah, that's about it. Trying to think. No, I'm trying to find my Switch plug. Find me one.
Oh. Okay.
For a second there, I thought you were trying to find your Switch. I'm like, how
No,
do you
I know
misplace
that.
it?
I know where that thing is. It's just
I would.
I don't have the power cord, so it's
Yeah.
just in my shelf.
All right.
I would use it. I'm sure I would.
I have a case for it, so like you have the case and you know where the case is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
True.
What happens if you lose that case?
And I guess
Yeah,
it's like
lose the
I
console.
lose the case with the console in it. I don't know. It's a thing.
I mean, then he's down a Switch,
I'm not losing that console. Like I'm not that like airheaded where I'm gonna leave it. I don't think not anymore.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's like, okay, I
It's
can
first
kind
time
of
for
understand
everything.
like losing a DS, but like losing a 7-inch console and then some.
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of a stretch,
Like I remember losing a PSP when I was a kid because
Yeah.
I'm wearing like sweatpants on the airport. And like you're sitting in the airport, and then it just
Oh, yeah, it just
slides
falls
out
out,
of your
right?
pants,
Yeah.
and you're a kid, and you just sit up and go,
Yeah.
and then you realize you just left your $200 machine somewhere in the airport.
On an airplane. through, like, some
That's
other
unfortunate.
person. Yeah,
It's
that's
very-
really unfortunate.
Mhm.
All right. So this past week, I have fired up Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition.
Oh.
I've actually been having a lot of
Ooh,
fun
Nice.
with this current playthrough that I've been doing. So I might have talked about it on the show before, where it's like, I fired it up, haven't really been too much of a fan of Dark Souls 1 by comparison to 3 or whatever, right? But yeah, I've actually been enjoying myself now. All of a sudden, had a lot of patience with it, type thing. Yeah,
Yep.
it's not been a bad experience. And I've been playing a bit of Rainbow Six's new operation, Parabellum, Maestro and Alibi, both really fun to play. I pulled off like a 1v4 last night on Villa as Alibi. So
Nice.
yeah, it was.
I had a question. What the Prepare to Die edition, is that Switch or PC?
It's a PC, and it's not the remaster. It's like the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like it was the original release type thing on PC, with of course the DS Fits mod installed. It's the only way to play it on PC. So yeah, and decided that it's been about it. Yeah.
Nice.
I've been grinding more mounts in WoW. Some of you I might have mentioned on the show before. I'm on a 350 mountain journey. I reached 110 earlier this morning, so 220 left. 220.
Close?
No idea what you're talking about, but cool.
I'm not very close at all, but it is a step in the right direction. Yeah. Considering like a week ago, I had about 78 to my name. Yeah, it was a significant step forward this past week. So yeah. And then
Nice.
Then yeah, that's about it. Has anyone tried out or downloaded For Honor yet? That one, the starter edition is free to download on Uplay. I'm quoted.
I did download it.
Okay.
I downloaded it. I've not fired it up yet.
Okay. I am famously
Downloaded it
quoted
on the
as
free
saying free forever if you download it this week.
Great.
All right.
What is? Do you guys? Go ahead.
We'll never get over that.
Yeah.
I downloaded over the free weekend, and to my sadness, I found out that it doesn't even work on my computer. It just doesn't have the specs to do it.
Yeah.
I was so depressed because I really wanted to play with my friends. My friends play For Honor, so yeah.
Do you guys know what comes in that starter edition?
I'd imagine it's kind of. I hate to make this comparison, but I'd imagine it's kind of similar to Rainbow Six's, where at least with Rainbow Six's, it's not worth the $20,
Right.
but it would be worth it if it was free. You know?
Yeah. Because I know.
I don't know how character progression works in that game.
Well, yeah, it's similar. Like you earn some kind of currency, and then you would unlock the character. But it was like really easy to earn that currency. So I'm curious if they did the Rainbow Six style where it's harder to earn, because like the lower paid one, I think like the $15 Rainbow Six, it's like twice the time to get a character.
Yeah,
something crazy like that.
Okay, yep.
But yeah, so maybe I'll check that out. I played it a while back when it like was doing some betas and stuff, and I was like, this is cool, but I found it very shallow. Like, just
fair enough.
It doesn't scratch that fighting game itch that I really like. And then with like looking at some of the stuff it's had, like with like peer-to-peer servers, and like if the host just leaves, the game is over. And kind of, well, that was
dedicated though.
I think I think this year they just switched to dedicated.
It's like peer-to-peer is fine. Like I remember a bunch of games on like Xbox Live being that, you know, it's like Modern Warfare 2 host or whatever. You know, sometimes if the host would leave in the middle of match or whatever, then it's like it would just do a host migration thing for about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And it'd be back to it. But
yeah, and then you're back in, yeah.
Yeah. And then but it would just end the game.
I'm pretty sure it would just end the game if the host left.
Oh,
so like
wow.
Yeah. So if you were just losing and the host got salty and left.
Bad.
So basically it's like a way to win would be to tilt the host.
Yeah, I mean, unless he's on your team, you gotta protect him.
Or prevent the host from getting tilted. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, it's like next level strats. Okay, next level strats.
Yeah.
That is just beyond horrible, actually.
Yeah,
you know, that is. Jesus, now I understand the backlash for this game. All right.
Yeah, it was not great.
Yeah. All right. So I don't want to like ask necessarily what was our. Or actually, Joel, let's get your input on this because people have heard Andrew and Anthony's opinions on this. What were some of your takeaways from E3?
I haven't actually looked it up that much, but I do know a couple of games that caught my interest.
Ooh.
And I say a couple games, I actually just mean one, which is Kingdom Hearts 3, but
I do not get the hype for that game at all.
What game? Sorry.
Kingdom Hearts
Kingdom
3.
Hearts 3.
Oh,
It's
come
I just
on,
don't get it.
Anthony. Come on.
Andrew, come on,
it should-
back me up.
It's like such an
I'm
old
not going to.
franchise though. To be honest, I sort of I can sort of understand like where you're coming from, because absolutely ridiculous idea, and I would say that the franchise would be a cult classic.
To
I would
me,
consider it a cult classic.
it's kind of like another Final Fantasy game. It's just there's kind of been so many of them that it just gets. Yeah,
But
I
like
don't-
Kingdom
I don't-
Hearts is so far and away
favorite.
different than from the gameplay and like more kind of story wise
Yeah.
too. From
Disney,
from a
dude,
Final Fantasy.
Disney.
We're only on
How
number
can you
3,
say that's a
Anthony.
Disney?
There's only been
No,
3.
you're not. Right.
There's only been 3.
Come on, man. Yeah.
How can you say there's that many?
There's Kingdom Hearts 365.
I
There's
What?
also Kingdom Memories.
They're doing like the Battlefield situation. It's like 1, 2, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5.
it's worse. There's like fractions and stuff in their games.
Yeah, I know. It's just
There's only one fraction, which is, I'm pretty sure it's Chain of Memories.
One fraction
And
is
that
too
was
many
because-
fractions.
yep.
I think there was
There's points. There's decimal points. There's more than one fraction because there's like 2.5. So 2.8. Those are fractions technically.
Yeah, it's like 2 4/5. Yep.
Yeah.
2 4/5. That's okay.
what?
Yeah,
1
point-
and
0.8 is
15.
4/5. Yeah.
2.5 is same as 2.5.
Yep. There we go.
Yep.
2.8.
I'm gonna call
2
bull on
4/5.
that.
Yep.
I am searching it up right now. I don't think that's.
You don't think there's a 2.5?
Uh,
1.5?
I
There's-
Isn't
there's
it
a-
2.5 over 3?
hold on.
Or something
There's a
like
lot of like.
oh,
There's some
well,
weird
that's
ones.
that? This is
like,
weird.
There's.
Jammed.com.
What was it? I'm pretty sure there's a one oh 1 out of 2 like Kingdom
Yep,
Hearts.
he's got proof.
something
He's
like
got
that.
proof. What?
One,
I can't read it.
1.5 and 2.5. That's 2 fractions. All right.
358 over 2.
Yep.
358 over 2.
Now they're doing division.
Oh.
That one.
So
I
what's-
know that.
There is
one.
a 2.5. There is a 2.5.
What is the new Kingdom Hearts going to be? Just Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Just
Oh,
3.
dear.
And then
Proper.
in like 6 years, when it gets an HD remaster, it'll be 3.5.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years
3
after that, when they
HD.
re-release the HD remaster, but to use whatever like the Xbox Starlet Pro equivalent is, it will be 3.8. Yep.
I'm
2
pretty
weeks.
sure 2. Is 2.5 a remastered?
Yes.
No, it'll be 2.5.5. Come on.
Yeah, it just like adds a little bit of
Just like patch
stuff.
notes for Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts 2 version.
2.5.1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh my
oh,
god,
like
it's
a
actually
release.
a remaster. I thought 2.5 was Chain of Memories.
Nope.
Wait, then which one's Chain of Memories?
Well, okay, Chain of Memories might be considered like
That's why I'm over it.
2.5 because where it falls in the story type thing. So it's
This
like,
is
you might have heard the sentiment be shared that, oh yeah, Chain of Memories is essentially Kingdom Hearts 2.5, you know, kind of bridges a gap between 2 and 3. Whether or not
I
that's true,
suppose.
I don't know. I lost track of the story a long, long time ago. But
Same.
yeah. But yeah, it's like
Hate it.
it's like as far as I know, the game that's in that case, 1.5 and 2.5 and all that stuff there, are just their naming conventions for the remaster.
Honestly, I can't help but love the story of Kingdom Hearts. It is just so preposterous. You have this simple idea of 3 kids on an island who want to adventure. That's basically the simple premise of it. Boom, Disney everywhere, and then they just go on this magical adventure.
It's great. Are you kidding me?
at least it
Great.
is-
That's what I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
It's so random that it works.
I like the idea of all different worlds. and all
Okay.
different but I just don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
And
I
I've
could
played-
do some quantum physics up in here if you want
No,
me to.
thanks, I'm
okay.
good.
No. Okay.
Go and take your magic somewhere else.
All right.
Anthony is a heartless guy, it's confirmed.
Apparently.
He has no heart.
Hey, Andrew agrees with me secretly.
Andrew, you've been kind of silent. What a.
Yeah.
You guys have your fun, please. I
It's like you're enjoying this, aren't you?
don't want to play those games ever.
I mean, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
like it's
Well,
not
neither do
everyone's cup of tea. Now, granted, it's
No,
becoming
no.
harder and harder to find a cup of tea for Anthony, but yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm just ready for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out, so I have to stop hearing about it so
Oh,
much.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm like that as well.
You know, I'm kind of
Yeah,
waiting for Half-Life 3 to come out just so the meme will die.
Kingdom Hearts is Half-Life 3.
It's like Half-Life
Fair,
3,
the
the
Kingdom
Sonyverse.
Hearts 3 thing
Only this
had
one's
the
actually happening.
same thing happened to it like Breath of the Wild. I'm pretty sure it was promised ages ago, and so there's been a big build up for it, and then when it finally we're getting it after many years of it,
I don't think
being said we're gonna get it.
I don't think it's quite a fair comparison to consider it to Breath of the Wild when you consider all the things. It's like, from as far as we know, it's like Kingdom Hearts 3 is in no way like reshaping the formula type thing, and they don't necessarily have to rebuild a bunch of like open world stuff for everything. The reason why Breath of the Wild took so long was because they had to completely reshape and reform like the Zelda formula. They had to experiment a lot. They had to build in a massive open world, and they had to make it. Hold on just a second.
And they had to build all those systems, to interact with each other, which on itself is like insane. What happens if I put the metal rod next to the rock, and then the lightning strikes it? What's gonna happen, kind of thing. So yeah, I definitely agree. It's a little different. I mean, yes, they're both huge franchises that've been around for a long time, and Zelda was only delayed once or twice, maybe.
No,
7 billion times.
So Breath of the Wild was only delayed a couple times, I think.
It was the first teaser was like right after Skyward Sword, and then they delayed it multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not like comparing Breath of the Wild to Kingdom Hearts 3. I think Breath of the Wild is a much better game and stuff like that.
We don't know yet, but
I'm talking about the overall, like how hype works. The fact that we were promised something sequel, and it's a potential trilogy, so a potential conclusion to the huge franchise as it is, and then we'd be
so
like,
they might finally finish it.
I think it's a trilogy. I really hope it's a trilogy, because I felt like they could have concluded it, and then they just extended it for like a trilogy for some reason. So
I mean, the amount of time it takes for them to put out a game, you think there will be a 4?
What are we talking about?
2030.
He was just saying he's pretty sure that Kingdom Hearts is a trilogy, and I was just like,
I mean, two was so close to being concluded already. It was just a small hiccup, man. I suppose in the that Sora did basically. I felt like it could have concluded. You have Riku come back from like being the that he was, and he kills at least I think he kills.
Okay, spoilers, please.
And you don't even actually know.
Yeah, it's like spoilers,
sorry.
please. Yeah, spoilers, please.
Thing.
To say that.
He may. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts discussion officially over.
Okay, my bad.
All right, so anyway, back to the Breath of the Wild point. It's like not only do they have to, they took 6 years. They had to get voice actors, which is the first time that's ever happened in a Zelda game, is to get like a cast of voice actors.
True.
Okay, they had to, they had to craft the open world. They had to do all the mechanics they wanted to implement the new engine that they have for it and everything. I mean, it's like they had to do a bunch of stuff, and not only that, they had to split it not only on the Wii U but to the new and upcoming Switch also, which was in heavy R&D at the time Breath of the Wild would have been starting development.
Yeah, I was gonna say they realized halfway through that they don't want it just on the Wii U.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, "Hey, it might be a good idea to put it on this thing here." And here we are a year later, and Breath of the Wild is absolutely responsible for the successful launch of the Switch.
I don't know if you if you heard me before, but I explained my point that it's not that I'm comparing Kingdom Hearts 3 to Breath of the Wild,
Okay.
but I'm comparing that it had a similar form of hype where it's something in the franchise and it was promised earlier on, but then it was prolonged, sort of like I feel like that would hype at least, or anticipation that there's a reason to be prolonged, if that makes sense.
I mean, I think it's like I still just don't think it's that fair of a comparison because correct me if I'm wrong, but the first we heard of Breath of the Wild was in 2015.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it was a year after Skyward Sword.
I mean, okay, a year after Breath of the Wild, what's his name? I forget the guy's name. The director behind Zelda has said, "Hey, the next Zelda is already like in development," type thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 Speaking of
I get
Nintendo,
that. I get that. I still think that you can't put it on the same as Kingdom Hearts. I get it. But then let's see. I just searched it up. Teaser was in 2013.
What was?
Huge build up from like so many years ago.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not comparing it because of the franchise. I'm comparing it by time that passed.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So you can like scrap the whole idea that in the Zelda game. I'm just talking about how it was done.
Okay.
That
Yeah. But there was a lot more. Yeah, I get what you mean, but there was like
it was like, all right, so we were told very early on, we were told Kingdom Hearts 3 was like a thing, right? And then it's like, you know, they started, it's like eventually they showed more and more of it, and it's like, hey, let's let it happen really soon. But then it looked like the development cycle was plagued by delays, et cetera, and whatnot, until we finally get the closest thing we have to a final product shown off at this past E3 here.
Yeah.
That couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, Anthony, what are you gonna say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the whole Kingdom Hearts world, they don't really have to do any work on it. It's kind of just, okay, like coding Pirates of the Caribbean, coding this, coding that. You don't need to upgrade the graphics kind of thing because they haven't really changed. Whereas with Zelda, they've had to build it from the ground up. So they kind of had a reason to delay it, I'm saying. Whereas Kingdom Hearts is like, you don't really have an excuse, people. Get it out already.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, to bring Zelda back into it, it's like, okay, sure, we might know the next Zelda is in development again, but before we actually see something at E3, it'll be another couple years, you know? It's like, all right, you know, after Skyward Sword, it's like next Zelda is in development. You might have said that in 2013. We didn't see Breath of the Wild at E3 until 2015, and even then they were like, yeah, this is still probably at least a year out, if not more, type thing.
Yeah.
So.
And it's kind of, hey, just so you know, we haven't fully forgotten the Zelda franchise. We are working on it still.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, oh yeah, we're doing it, and then nah.
Yeah. The director of Zelda said maybe about and the name it's not Sakurai. He's the Smash Brothers dude. I completely forget the name.
Satura? No.
That's close, but anyway.
Isn't it? I can't pronounce it properly, but isn't it Iwata?
No, Iwata is the CEO who passed a couple years ago.
Yeah. I thought so.
Anyway, so
Andrew,
what'd you say?
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, anyway, his name escapes me, but that's not besides the point. It's like, he said maybe 6 to 9 months after Breath of the Wild release. It's like, yeah, work on the next Zelda has already begun. We have some really great ideas for it and everything. E3 2020, if not 2021, will be when we see an inkling of it, type thing. You know, it's kind of a common trend. We'll probably see a couple of handheld games, or it's like smaller games, a la like Link Between Worlds and whatnot in between. But other than that,
not Miyamoto. You don't mean him?
No. It's specific.
Does he work?
This is gonna bother me. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just to chat.
Koji Kondo?
No, he's the
He's
composer.
the composer.
Yeah, I know that one.
Hold on.
Everyone's searching up now.
I saw Takahashi Tezuka is the other creator, but I'm not sure if that's
No,
correct.
there's a very specific name I'm looking for. And now. IG
more.
Inuma.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. AG
Okay.
Inuma. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that was him. Okay.
So
So yeah.
Cool.
I've been meaning to ask, any
Yeah,
of you guys looking forward to any new releases in the upcoming year?
Oh yeah, plenty of them.
So many.
Yeah, plenty of them.
Particularly
Oh,
stick
man.
out?
Huh?
November, December, February, March is on
Just
break.
hellish.
Pretty much like what until October, or in October. Yeah, pretty much from October to like the rest of the year. October till March, maybe.
Yeah, October till like March of next year. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
is
Like-
nuts. There's at least one like AAA game coming out that I want to play.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the indies that are probably going to pop up
Yeah.
randomly as well.
Right. Right.
So it's gonna be a long one.
Well, you got Assassin's Creed, you've got Beyond Good and Evil, you've got
That's
Yeah.
not coming out.
It's like BGE is.
oh
way
yeah,
off,
that's
isn't
2
it?
years away. What else?
There's
Yeah,
tons. There's
I
Red,
totally know what I'm talking about, don't I?
there's Red Dead Redemption. There's tons of stuff.
There's
It's just-
Battlefield. There's Black Ops 4. There's Ori and the Will of the Wisps. There's
could-
yeah.
yeah.
we could list stuff for hours and
Yeah,
talk about it.
exactly.
Smash.
Yeah,
The
Smash
new one.
December.
Yeah,
7th.
I was gonna bring up Smash a little bit because Nintendo came
Yeah, let's talk
to
about this.
E3 with not a whole lot. I don't.
Besides Smash, yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, they had a lot of Smash.
Yeah.
But besides
Yeah.
that, I feel like it was a pretty weak offering from Nintendo.
I would agree with you on that. So really quick, couple news points I'd like to address about Smash real quick before I get into it is we did do confirmation over the duration of E3 that it is a new game built from the ground up, so it's not a port in any way, shape, or form. All right.
Okay.
And it is also, have you guys seen the backlash over Waluigi not being in it?
Yeah.
I mean, you knew that was coming.
I didn't actually. It's like
People,
I don't understand why he's a
trophy
meme.
though.
I don't get
He's
why
a-
he's a meme. I really
he's a
don't.
jerk. He's just the worst character. He's just a terrible character. That no one.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
thank you.
like him. He's
Thank
cute,
you.
man.
He's terrible. I mean,
I
he's,
agree
he's a
with
garbage
Andrew.
man.
I agree with
Oh,
Andrew.
come on.
I think-
Come
Some-
on.
I think the main reason is because you just think about it. The four
Look,
Mario, Luigi,
he's
and
got
Waluigi.
the best Mario Kart music.
Waluigi?
He's yeah.
So you're a fan of Waluigi?
Yeah, I like Waluigi. He's one of the best tennis players in Mario Tennis 64 because
my
of his
God.
reach. Come
Okay.
on, he's good.
I think he's a very silly character, and that's why people
Yeah.
latch onto him. And like,
He's a definite.
He
He's
does-
a definite silly character.
he does some really weird stuff. Like he just crotch chops people, like in Mario Strikers. Like I don't understand that character. His whole
Yeah.
his like sole purpose exists just to be a terrible human being, which is fine. Like whatever.
Yeah, it was
Um,
always him and Wario. So
Yeah, and Wario's
Yeah,
got
I
excellent
think-
games and stuff. So.
yeah.
The backlash is due to the fact that you got Wario, Luigi, and Mario, but then you don't have Waluigi, one of the four. So
Well, I mean, maybe
it's
he'll
like,
come in.
Why?
He's, what are you gonna give him? Like he has no personality. Like this, but they've sort of built a personality, right? But like he hasn't had any of his own games, so it's like you have
Hey.
to create.
He had
Right.
pinball. Come on.
He's like a discount Wario, to be quite honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a-
I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's
I get
like,
what you mean.
yeah, it's-
I don't know. They are. If you look at it, Super Smash
I
is known
mean-
for like giving lots of weird abilities to all these characters. I mean, the freaking
They've got blinking
the
Wii
Wii
Fit trainer for goodness
the
sake.
Wii Fit
Why can't
trainer
they put
has her
Wario
own
in it?
set of abilities.
I mean, okay, I
Wii
guarantee
Fit
you-
sold a lot of copies.
And Wii Fit was very popular at the time too. Also, that's the thing. It's like it was a very, I don't want to say trendy, but like it's one of the games that defined the Wii generationally. You know,
Mhm.
it's like
I get I get that, but then the thing the thing that we're answering right now is Andrew's. What can you do with Waluigi since he has no personality and stuff like that, and no given abilities?
Did you just give him all the sports stuff? Oh, he hits you with a tennis racket. Like he already does that as his trophy, right?
They can make it. They can make it up.
But if they don't have anything to go off of except for him just being
Look,
terrible.
They didn't. They didn't have
my-
anything to go off for the Wii Fit trainer. They still did it.
Exactly.
She had like poses and
Oh,
stuff.
come on.
That's
My
pretty-
reason is that they've
Easy.
got everybody else in it.
I mean,
Why can't they just, wing it for one game? Like, he was in quite a lot of the old Nintendo 64 stuff, like Mario Kart, tennis. He was even in Mario Golf.
The first appearance I think was Mario, because Wario needed a partner to play with.
yeah.
It's the only reason he exists.
All right, so
Yeah.
all right, let's talk about. So say they
Let's
put
move on.
Waluigi in, okay? What kit does he have? Like, what ability kit does he have?
What does he do?
I
What does
don't know,
Waluigi do?
He probably.
Well, what does
his
Wario
kit
do?
His kit will most likely be something
farts on
absolutely comical.
Waluigi farts.
Oh,
I mean,
dear.
Wario farts on people.
Wario likes money.
Oh,
He
dear.
uses a shoulder charge. He likes to eat garlic.
He has a motorcycle. Yeah,
He
it's,
has
Yeah.
the motorcycle.
yeah. It's like, all
He's
right,
got
so it's
a-
like, how is his kit different? How is Waluigi's kit different than?
True,
something else?
true.
I
'Cause,
mean,
like,
they could do that
Yeah.
whole. I could see them
But I
doing
mean-
an Echo Fighter, like doing the
Yeah,
Echo
an Echo
thing.
Fighter,
and
because
the-
they've got Daisy in it and
Yeah.
everything, so...
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it happening.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if you guys make enough of a ruckus about it, it might happen. But I wouldn't.
Don't do
hold your
that.
breath.
Don't bug people. Please
wouldn't
leave them
hold your
alone. But yeah, back to my original point. Like Nintendo's, unless you really really like Smash, like it was hard for me to be like, wow, like I'm excited about Nintendo, because if you put me in front of that game and you played a similar version of Smash 4, I don't think I could tell the difference between two games. Like they look very similar. Like maybe
Yeah,
it
they
looks
do.
nice.
I'll give you
Maybe-
that. I will give you.
Maybe
that.
it looks nicer. And, they said they make 10,000 or whatever, thousands and thousands of changes, but it's like, don't even call them changes. Just be like, yeah, we just made a new game.
Mm.
Like don't say they're changes, because I'm sure those changes are huge and important and make a lot of sense to high level people who want to play Smash Brothers. But that's not really me. So those changes, like maybe I'll look at it and be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Why you cannot dash thousands of times in a row or dodge. But other than that, it looks the same to me, which is fine.
Mm.
Smash Brothers is a good game.
It's interesting that this might be one of the last Smashes that what's his name works on.
Why?
I
mean,
literally
he's been
said his
saying that
name like
forever.
30, like maybe 3 minutes
Yeah.
ago, and I don't
And
remember it.
I'm already lost it.
How do you Japanese name?
Sure.
Sakurai.
Sakurai,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sakurai.
I was gonna say Sakura, but then
Close.
Yeah. How do you Japanese
Sakurai.
name? I don't even know. All right.
I can't
Uh,
believe how young he looks. Though that's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. He looks like he's like 23, and he's 40 something. I think
He's
43 or
23.
45.
He's like 45 or so, and he has the
Yeah.
health of a 90-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like crunch time has been held to him over the years. But
Mm.
yeah.
He needs to get out while he can.
Yeah, it's like this. He's probably close to retirement after this, or at
Yeah.
least taking a step back from the next Smash game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more upset
I
over
was-
Midna not being a character, to be quite honest. That she's an assist trophy.
Ooh,
Can we talk about this?
that's actually
The
that's
worst.
such an amazing idea. Oh my god!
What?
And then she can ride Wolf Link as
Exactly.
well.
It's like,
Oh.
yeah. See, everyone's bitching about Waluigi, but I have another legitimate character that got missed out on. Okay, Midna.
Fi and
She
Fi.
was
Fi
bae.
as well.
She was the bae of my childhood. Okay. Yeah.
I think Bomberman got the
You went
shaft. Like
I would agree
Man.
with that too.
Bomberman could have been
Yeah.
such a cool character.
Mhm.
Putting bombs around the place and like that would be crazy. Like Bomberman would have been a sick character, and they just made him like that. To me shows. I mean, they did make Ridley, who's brand new. That shows me they're probably not going to do too many new characters.
I think it's like,
They
as
said
weird as
they're-
it sounds, they might opportunistically put in new characters depending on what games are coming down the pipe. So, for example,
Yeah.
I'd say that one of the big reasons why Ridley made it in as a character is because we have Prime 4 coming down the pipe
Sure.
Yeah.
at some point.
Sure.
So it's like,
Yeah, who knows? Because we didn't smell that game at E3 this year,
right.
which is kind of unfortunate.
I mean, I can see why, it's just like,
Actually, there's so many Legend of Zelda characters that could have potentially been in Smash.
Yeah, where's
like
Zan? Where's Zan?
Impa Vi Midna.
But you can't just populate the entire game with one.
I mean,
know.
Impa.
Well,
To be
Midna
fair,
was
Impa,
a trophy,
yeah,
wasn't she?
yeah,
Thought
she
she
was.
was, yeah.
I mean, Impa would kind of be like a
Midna
discount cloud, to be quite
would have
honest.
definitely been an amazing option. Midna would have been an amazing option. She has her own following.
Yeah.
I mean,
Vi almost.
She's a trophy,
No, not
though,
as much.
so.
and you got to remember though, with each character, you have to balance the character compared to all the other characters. So one character introduces so much work because then it's 60 other characters you have to balance it with,
Right.
and it just makes it insane.
Apparently, talking
have
about
you
the
seen
whole
Smash?
What's up?
Not
Really?
like
talking about the whole balanced character thing. Apparently, Bowser's extremely unbalanced. He just dies within like 2 seconds.
bad. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, obviously, there's going to be those characters in the 60 game roster. There's going to be the characters that just are not, going to hack it. But
Meta Knight. Oh my god.
I mean, yeah.
Snake. It's good to see Snake back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snake is decent, but then
Did you hear that they nerfed Snake's butt?
Huh?
They nerfed Snake's butt.
Oh
So-
dear. Here we
I saw
go.
that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
he lost some junk,
Yeah.
and even needs to hit leg day again. Go ahead, Joel. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say that Brawl was I found Brawl to be terribly unbalanced.
And that's what I think was a lot of people thought, but it was unbalanced in a way that was like due to randomness, right? Like there was random things that happened, like you would just trip, or whatever.
No. It was the whole kit. Like I made Moth, and Moth was quite terrible because he had no range, and then his kit was really, really versatile. So you have like a certain combo to knock them in the air, certain combo to do damage, certain combo to attack faster, and then he also was really good at aerial combat, which was nice, I suppose. But then you compare Ganondorf, which was the worst character, Meta Knight. You can see there's like a huge difference, especially Meta Knight. Meta Knight was actually banned from
Competitive play, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because he was just that powerful.
And then that happens. There's only been 4 Smash games. The first one being this weird thing that didn't make a lot of sense. So 2 is kind of them trying to figure it out. Melee is them trying to figure it out. Look at like Street Fighter 2. They had it when Super Street Fighter 2 came out. Akuma was this broken mess that you weren't allowed to play in competition because he had air fireballs and just could do that all day. And that happens in games. Like even to this day, like you're not gonna, especially with like fighting style games, you're not gonna. Very hard to balance these games.
Yeah, particularly with so many different playable characters and whatever. 60.
And
I mean,
I
imagine
believe-
putting Ice Climbers up against Ridley.
I believe Sakurai has
Yeah.
like gone on the record and be like, I don't really care too much about like the competitive aspect.
Yeah.
More about like
Which is
people
which
having
is why
fun.
I like
game.
which is why I like the last Smash, the Wii U one,
That
you could switch up the abilities.
Yeah.
Sure.
But then each character is probably made to like, if you've got, for instance, if someone's got Ridley, then you've kind of got 5 different characters that can go up against him who are going to be able to beat him, kind of thing. If you use someone like Ice Climbers, then you're dead straight away. So each character is probably made to battle someone else.
Yeah, it's all about matchups. Yeah.
Yeah, there's different combinations will obviously kill you. So
Yeah. I'm sorry this kind of hurts Andrew a little bit, but like I do appreciate the fact that they're designing it not towards competitive play in mind type thing. I think it's really important that there exists like a very approachable, lovable fighting game that's casual,
No, I agree. I don't think Smash is on the same level as a lot of other fighting games.
Yeah.
Not because it's not due to nuance or anything like that, but there's just so many different variables that kind of make it not a fighting game per se. Like
yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes you can get knocked out at 60%. Sometimes you gotta get knocked out 100. You know, like there's
Yeah.
just weird. Like I don't
There's
understand
not
all
really
the
clear
time.
and defined like health bars, so to speak. You know.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
It's just a chance of like how easy it is to hit you off of the actual map.
Well, I understand how the health works.
Saying it's not always like necessarily consistent. I don't feel like.
I suppose that's true.
Unless
Unless
you're very good at the
um,
numbers and you know what's gonna do what and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I'm sure there is a way to
I hope
figure it
Lucas
out.
still has his up A. The Lucas's up A was so powerful. Oh, I think it was like guaranteed to knock them out if they are like 40% and above.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff online. Some people talking about how there's an insane amount of knockback in this game and all that stuff. So you know, once people actually get to play it, it'll be interesting to see how everyone feels about it.
I kind of feel it's like I did notice this from the trailer, actually, from what we saw and everything. All like, I think the Smash segment alone was in like upwards of 30 minutes.
It was close, probably, yeah.
If not, nothing around there. But anyway, it's like one thing that I did really notice is that it definitely feels like, because this game is only going to be on the Switch, as far as we know, that they did definitely target a lot faster paced matches type thing just to get Overwatch, which I found a little strange, because even if you play stock, like normal 3 stock or something, it doesn't take that long.
It took me. I've watched some competitive. I've watched competitive Melee takes forever. Competitive Smash 4 can take a while because it's a lot of just spacing and movement. So people are just kind of doing lots of moving around, figuring it out, and then it can take a while. Someone who's been at Evo before and sat, catch the. I don't want to really watch Melee, but you catch the last couple matches and you're like, this is taking way too. Move on to the game I want to watch.
What about the whole cutting down the final? What are they called? Final smashes?
Oh yeah, that's part of it, right? Like a lot of the animations are way shorter.
Yeah.
Or just different in general.
I don't know if I like that though, because when you finish someone off, you want to be able to see kind of what you do to them.
Sure.
If it's kind of blended into the gameplay, then it might. It's not necessarily going to take away from it, but it's kind of I got him. Kind of takes away that kind of aspect to it.
I mean, it's beautiful gameplay purposes, because in Brawl you could, some of them were so long that you could just dodge it quite easily, like from a mile away. Donkey Kong, you just run you just run straight to the edge of the map, and they can't really touch you. So yeah.
Well, I support the change of the Final Smashes being a bit shorter. I think it helps with the Switch's power and everything, because Nintendo's didn't try and do all that they can to show off that it's like, hey, the Switch isn't underpowered or in any way or whatever. It's like, we're just fine where we need to. I think toning down the Final Smashes helps with that. I think it also goes into the time constraints also. And it's all about getting back to playing the game, because if you're playing like 4-player Smash or whatever, and then you use like Link's Final Smash, which is largely one target, then it's like even if you have 2 other dudes, it's like pretty much everyone's stopping what they're doing to watch it.
Right?
And it's like, granted, Link's isn't very, very long, but it's like it certainly breaks the gameplay for a while, for it's like not an insignificant amount of time. So I think
it's also like important to know. It's like, oh, if they just have all the same moves, like why are you guys calling this a new game, kind of thing?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Give us something a little different, some new, a new look, a new coat of paint, a new look on some stuff, new functions.
Yeah.
Or maybe they realize like, hey, like a lot of these smashes kind of function the same. Like, dude you control a guy flying around, or like dude gets really big. So now we're gonna change it so that it's a little simpler, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. So, and then yes, as Andrew brought up at the very beginning of this little segment here, Nintendo didn't really show much else. Like, Nintendo knew, all right, people are watching this for Smash Brothers, okay? Yeah. So they definitely targeted that and everything. It's like, as huge of a fan as I am of Smash Brothers, and know as much as I'm looking forward to the game and whatnot, it's like, I'd say maybe after the 20 to 25 minute mark, I was like, all right, they kind of need to wrap this up type thing. Yeah.
They were like, oh, Wii Trainer's face. it looks like look at it now, look at it then, and you're just kind of like,
More
Yeah, it's
detail.
like I don't need to know about Wii Trainer's
Eyebrows.
face. Okay, yeah, I don't need to know about Wii Trainer's face. It's fine.
look at Snake's butt. Look at Snake's butt now.
Yeah.
Introducing.
Yeah.
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 You think they cut off his butt and gave it an assist trophy or something? Like that's what they
it-
did.
I wonder why. Just
Idea.
modeling.
Yeah.
No, shadow
Oh
character.
my
Come on.
All right.
That's the Raiden shadow character, just bigger butt.
All right, Andrew. Would you like to say
By the way,
anything else? Oh,
has they have they put in sorry, not hold on, how should I phrase this? Are there any other Capcom characters that do you think they will be putting into they have Ryu, they have Mega Man.
I can
Mega
see,
Man's like
Pretty
a
sure-
so.
I can see like a Ken, like maybe like a Ken.
Dante maybe from DMC.
Oh no, I'm thinking Bomberman second.
Yeah.
They're adding Bomberman into the new one. I'm pretty
that'd be
sure.
cool. But he's the assist trophy.
He's an assist.
I thought they're making him a character
I don't think
Nah,
so.
he's
in
an
new
assist.
Smash.
I'm
Yeah,
kind
so-
of surprised. Actually, to be honest, I'm kind of surprised a
It's
character
tricky.
from an Atlas series hasn't made it in there yet.
Oh,
They could do like Joker from Persona 5 or something, you know?
Hmm.
Maybe not even Persona, but yeah, just like Atlas has had quite a few games on Nintendo.
Put Batman in it.
All
Oh.
right.
Yeah,
No,
right.
no. They should have Danganronpa.
What?
What?
Oh, the-
Danganronpa.
The bear, whatever the bear's name is.
Yeah. All right. So
Damn,
Andrew,
what bear?
you
Is
got
he
anything?
called Teddy?
I don't think so. Teddy's from Persona.
Oh.
All right, Andrew. Anything
What else
more
would you
about
have
Nintendo?
liked? Yeah.
Anything else about Nintendo there, Andrew?
No, it was just kind of a bummer, you know. Like, I'm looking forward to some of their games. Like, you know, I'm looking forward to Tennis Aces, and you know, that looks really cool. And like, you know, Fortnite coming is a neat thing. Not surprising at all.
Yeah.
But
I'm a little bit of the camp that I'm surprised it took them that long, actually. A little bit
Yeah.
of the camp, but anyway.
and I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my Switch, and I'm looking that I don't have my charger, and I'm like, I don't even know if I need my charger for a little longer because I don't know what to play on that thing. And I'm sure there's tons
Wireless
of
charging.
good indie games that I could play on it.
Yeah.
But I could also probably play those somewhere else.
Yeah. I will say though that so I've talked about I don't really like Fortnite and everything, and I haven't been too hot on Battle Royale until recently when I started having some fun with PUBG. But I will say that literally right after the conference ended for Nintendo and we did our little brand wrap up and whatnot, I did download Fortnite on the Switch. And the other day I was waiting for my friend at a Starbucks, and it's like she was running a little bit late. I was like, all right, I have my Switch with me because I have my backpack with me. So I was like, well, a game of Fortnite doesn't sound too bad. It was great. I'm sitting in Starbucks playing Fortnite. It's like,
Nice.
okay. Yeah.
Did it run okay? Like on the
It-
Wi-Fi and stuff?
Oh yeah, it ran great, actually.
Cool.
Awesome.
No issues.
Nice. How did the game play? Like, was it like stuttery or anything like that?
No,
You know?
it was like it's very good.
Cool.
They did a nice
That's
job.
good.
Yeah.
That's
the
good.
The one complaint I have is obviously aiming with a joystick, but whatever.
Oh yeah, I bet that those little nubs are probably even harder to aim with in that game.
Okay,
I don't like the way
so-
the guns feel in that game.
Yeah. So with crossplay, you can crossplay with Xbox and PC, correct? With
Yeah, you can
the
now.
Switch.
So it's like I noticed in the
Yeah.
setting, although I didn't delve too much into it, Fortnite has the matchmaking setting now of you can choose whether or not you can choose to either fill your squad with people on the same platform but play against cross-platform, etc., etc. So
And PlayStation blocking it, then not letting you jump in. Apparently.
So I think the problem more people had was that if you like sign up with your PS4,
yeah,
it locks you out from all your other your account. Can't sign with the same account on a Switch, or I don't, maybe even a PC. I'm not sure. But basically, once you sign in on a PS4, you're kind of locked in.
yeah,
Anything you
true.
buy doesn't go anywhere
Doesn't
else.
switch over, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's kind of the issue because I know you can play PS4 and PC. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's the extent of
fairly
it.
certain.
I'm sure. Just
I
PS4 and
was
PS.
fairly certain that they were blocking Switch and PS4 players from playing together. I would have
Okay.
to Google it.
I think they might be blocking it as well. I'm not 100%. I know there was some silly tweets going around I saw this morning of Xbox UK tweeting Nintendo like, "Hey, want to play a 4 game of Fortnite?" I'm like, excluding PlayStation or something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What about
My experience
mobile?
playing it was like I didn't turn on cross-platform, so it was only other people with Switch.
Right.
Yeah.
I think mobile is the same thing. I think you can play with PC. I think you can play PS4
Yep.
and mobile. You just can't
So-
do
So,
any.
With
because Fortnite, from what I see, seems to be really difficult. It's really easy to tell whoever's playing mobile because they tend to be the ones
Yeah.
staying still very often.
Sure.
So they're just staying still for your sniper rifle, and you're like, oh, okay, bang, you're dead. And so, yeah, I was just wondering if they just have
Yeah.
their own separate one because it seems really difficult to play on mobile.
Like Taylor said, you can like match make and be like, "Oh, I only want to play with mobile," or just put me in with anybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which seems very silly if you are.
Just a bunch of guys standing still trying to take pot shots at each other.
I've yet to play Fortnite on mobile. I probably won't.
Yeah.
So
I don't think my
So-
phone is quite there.
So the PS4 has blocked crossplay with the Switch and the Xbox One.
Right.
Oof.
However, you can do crossplay with PS4 and phone and also PC.
All right.
But they're not letting it for Xbox or Switch, which is insane, really, because if you're a PS4 player, you'd have more chance of winning if you're playing against a Switch or an Xbox One,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's just like a market share thing, right? Like, hey, we want to be the place to play Fortnite. And stuff.
They're not even giving a reason for it, so
Nah. They have the most consoles out there. They don't need to share their toys, like kind of thing, right? Like they have
True,
everything.
true.
Like, why do they need to share? It's the other
True.
people that kind of need them.
it's a bit. I find it a little bit
Yeah, it's a little
Yuppie-ish.
messed up. Yeah, it's a little messed up, and I'm just kind of like, come on, just let the developers do what they want to do, which is clearly connect everybody in the same way, and it would be really cool to see. But businesses are businesses, and obviously that happens.
Yeah, it's not like there's a short. It's like I kind of get both sentiments, so to speak. It's like, okay, yeah, I do
Yeah.
understand. Just let people play with each other regardless of platform. That's great. No, at the same time, it's not like there's exactly a lack of people to find on It's like if you're playing on PS4. Even if you were to only do other PS4 people, it's not like there's a lack of people. It's the largest game in the world right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I said, people also might be a little miffed about the whole not getting their stuff. So, I bought a bunch of cool stuff on PS4 because that was my first console.
Mm-hmm.
I downloaded on Switch, and now I can't have all my cool stuff that I paid for.
Okay. All right.
Just
So,
fair.
because we are on the subject of Battle Royale, Joel, you mentioned you want to talk about Realm Royale. Now, I have seen a little bit of it. As Add Tyler or Add 80 tier. Thank you very much for the follow there, sir. Anyway, however you pronounce that name.
Add tier.
Added tier.
So,
Okay, anyway, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Joel, you wanted to talk about Realm Royale, and so as far as I know about this game, it's like an alpha or beta. It's early access either way, and it's basically like Fortnite but with crafting.
Is
Yeah.
this the Paladins? Is this
the-
Paladin, the game? Only Battle Royale
yeah,
or no?
it is by
Okay.
same developers, and
Okay.
I did take a look at like the alpha footage before. I can't remember which streamer it was I was watching it off, but basically he was showing it off. So every single one of the abilities, more or less, are reminiscent of the one of the champions from Paladin's abilities, and so it's kind of like a mashup. So the
Yep.
warrior has like box leap, skyless stealth for assassin, and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah, I
It's so
watched it a
interesting.
little bit. It's interesting.
yeah,
as
it's
well.
so interesting to see like different classes for Royale, and I also like the crafting system as well, and the fact that also have to sort of like stand your ground because other people can take it away from you if they claim it before you. So
Yeah, I was looking at it as well, and it definitely is a good twist on it. You know how you have Fortnite with their twist. on the Royale, and I don't know if Paladins is like the biggest name to do like the twist the right way, but maybe it's got some flavor to it. Like people turn into chickens when they get like downed,
Yeah.
which is really it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
really silly and fun. So yeah, I could see it definitely finding a market, because I think people were like, oh, we're gonna see so many battle royales. There's gonna be tons of battle royales coming. Blah 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 blah. I don't think we even saw that many announced at E3.
Battlefield 5 Battle
Battlefield,
Royale.
That's like there's like three. There's like three of them that I feel like I heard, which
yeah,
is
no,
like not.
we looked over to the PC
Pokemon
Gaming
Battle
Show
Royale.
and we see what is it, like Proving Grounds or whatever, where that whole gimmick is.
Yeah.
It's like the gunplay looked very shallow, the gameplay looked very shallow. It seems like the entire gimmick they're chasing after is the 1,000-player battle royale or something.
Sure,
Which,
yeah.
That's gonna be a hellish netcode, by the way. It's like, you think the desync in PUBG is bad? Wait until this game comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Idea.
Yeah, that's gonna be hellish.
But I think my point was, man, I think Fortnite scared some people. Like Fortnite is so big and it's everywhere.
Mhm.
People probably like, why would we even bother? Battle Royale. It's just Fortnite's just there and huge.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that this thing exists. Realm Royale, it looks definitely cool. Hopefully they can carve something out for themselves.
I originally thought it was I thought it was just gonna be a spin-off for Paladins, but maybe it might become bigger because Hyris does that a lot.
Yeah, when
do you
I
think
got
it
a
would be
press release for this,
Like,
and
do
I
you
was
think
like,
it would be marketed better as a like Paladins Royale, so to speak?
do a lot of people play Paladins?
I mean, a decent number do. People that don't really
It's
like
the
Overwatch.
it's the biggest game right now. I'm pretty sure it's actually quite big. Yeah.
Yeah, Paladins is like.
Hey,
It's
maybe.
like, if you don't like Overwatch, but you still like kind of like the first-person like class type thing, sort of speaking, in like an Overwatch style, then you play Paladins. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, there is certainly a market for that. Like, I might be one of those people or something. I might not like Overwatch, but maybe I'll try out Paladins one day.
Paladins is I don't like the fact that like people still compare the two. I mean, they're quite different. There's someone summed it up before. I remember.
I think
Paladins is fantasy.
I mean, the comparison comes from them launching at about the same time.
Yeah, I think it's just the style. Kind of the quote hero shooter.
Hero shooter, yeah.
And then it's like, if I'm going to play a hero shooter or like a class... Before hero shooter, it was called a class-based shooter.
Yeah.
Okay? And it was like, Call of Duty, when they did the whole like class system for multiplayer, I know they called it classes, but that's a bit different than a class-based shooter. That's more of like a loadout type shooter. Battlefield or whatever, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, class-based shooter. If I'm gonna play a class-based shooter, I'll honestly play Rainbow Six. That appeals to me a lot more than both either Overwatch or Paladins.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
To answer your question, I think it was like a last-minute decision that they made it into a proper Royale game because from the looks of from the earlier footage, it did look like it was just going to be a strict spin-off for Paladins. So they took away a lot of the aspects which I thought would have made the game interesting because Paladins, but. I got no idea what the hell I'm saying now.
It's okay.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. I'm curious. It definitely looks like a silly game.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can add some to it. Okay.
Do we think PUBG is on a death spiral right now? A lot of people are really upset.
I mean...
Like, outside of the whole banning thing, people have been upset for, like, the past week or so.
Then they announced a snow map and stuff, right?
Snow map, and, like, their Sandhawk is going...
going live.
Is going on live at the end of June. Sandhawk is in more of the style of the Fortnite island, where it's a lot closer together. They announced they're not taking into account, not taking into account MMR, which PUBG does have a hidden MMR system. And you can kind of get a rough idea based on your leaderboard placing. But anyway, it's like Sandhook won't apply for like MMR system and whatnot. And I think there's been some stuff about like in the Oceania server, which it's all the Asian servers basically. and they're taking away certain queues or something from matchmaking due to a lack of population. I forget, but
Weird.
so a lot of people are upset about that. But yeah, and then it's like a lot of it goes down to core game mechanics, or not even game mechanics necessarily, but more like core issues that probably should have been ironed out before they called it an official release, or even brought it to Xbox One, or maybe even given it a second or third map. You know, things like desync. Well, it might be fine during the game or whatever. Now, it's like, especially when you're parachuting in or whatever, it's like there is desync issues. People have been mistaking it for wind this whole time, but no, it's actually desync. All because when the developer said, "Yeah, we don't have a wind system in that game," so yeah, it's like. It's the wind. It hasn't been affecting your parachute. It's been like server performance. and then it's like there's no progression system. There really isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. They just need to get on top of it. They have something really nice and the foundation is solid, but they just haven't been updating it. Like you look at Fortnite, they're constantly adding stuff to that game. Something new all the time.
New battle passes.
They do like a new DLC every week or something, don't they?
Yeah,
It's weird.
Great. Like that's awesome that they're supporting it at such a high level. I mean, they need to because that's how they've got such a high player base. But yeah, when you look at PUBG, most of these people are playing it because it's kind of the best one of those versions of games. Like the best in terms of shooting, like if you want the military style.
Oh yeah, and it's like I definitely prefer like PUBG to Fortnite just because it's it's like
more realistic and little, but you know.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, I like my fantasy and like stuff from time to time, but it's just like I have serious problems with the shooting mechanics in Fortnite. The fact that you can be aiming at a person, hit them, you know your crosshair's dead on them, but RNG decides whether or not you actually hit them anyway. It's like that's really, I don't understand why that decision would be made. I really don't.
I mean, I think when they made it, they didn't think it might have been this level of.
That depends on the spray if you have an automatic gun, or the drop off if you have
single shot. And this was back before they added drop off to all weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have like the bloom, I guess people are calling it, where basically
it was the bloom system.
Your shot doesn't necessarily go where your crosshair is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so like it'll bloom like a.
That's not the
well, isn't that how when you were shooting it would go kind of?
Yeah.
That right?
No,
like,
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's like, but I don't. Okay, never mind. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't think it's fun that happens.
No, it's not.
I don't get the whole.
They got rid of that. No drop off in Paladins except for the snipers. But yeah.
I mean, why can't? What as like a delivery method to get down onto the map? Why can't they use a train, or like I don't know, something but a plane or a flying bus?
Have you guys seen that? Was it totally or actual battle royale or whatever it's called? It was this free to play game. It was like really silly.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like you're in like just like a truck beds that are just like flowing through the air, and when you release, it just shoots you out, and you don't have any parachute. Your guy just kind of like and just launches wherever you're facing. It's pretty fantastic.
I kind of think an ODST battle royale would be good, where it's like you're, where it's like drop pods all over the map or whatever, and like you choose where to launch your drop pod, and then like you drop on a map like an ODST from Halo, and
that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, that may be fun. All right, I think we kind of, I don't want to say ram battle royale into the ground, but I think that's all we can say. We
thoroughly killed it.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a chat discussion. So it's like favorite announcement of E3, ADT, or you say Death Stranding. That was personally one of my favorite things at least. There were so many like good stuff that I saw over the weekend, but yeah, that was one of my favorites. And no idea when we'll see a release date. Maybe at E3 2020. I'm thinking the game will be out by 2020. No. Okay.
No.
They talked about next gen games. Like I'm wondering if this is one of those next gen games.
Do you think Ghost of Tsushima will be a next gen game?
I've heard that game looks incredible.
Yeah.
And people are like questioning if that is running on a PlayStation. They're like, dude, I don't know. Yeah. That game looks insane.
Well, okay, technically, it's like, to be fair, this is a little bit like PCMR circle jerky, but like most of the things we saw running at A3 are on PCs right now.
Oh, yeah.
But I see what you're saying though, Andrew. It's like it's like, I think we kind of peaked with God of War. I'm not sure we can go past this. And then, you know, we look at something like Ghost of Tsushima, and it's just like miles away from what God of War is on the PS4.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. Yeah. I mean, to be
So,
fair,
yeah.
and it's like Last of Us Volume 2 does look comparable to God of War. Which,
Yeah, that's great.
Which kind of does further, like, confirm the whole, like, peak, so to speak. It's like they've kind of pinnacled.
I think Ghost of Tsushima as well is very cinematic looking. They've got really good angles on everything. I think that might help a little bit and kind of trick you into thinking, wow, this is fantastic. But it's mostly because of the blocking and where the shot is taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of, like, what made Ghost of Tsushima do was a lot of the, like, the leave system, so to speak, like the leave system.
Yeah, there's a lot of leaves.
Yeah, it's like that does add a ton of atmosphere, but it's not very. It's like, especially with the angle and everything, it's not very hard to have low poly leaves. Not saying that they're low poly by any means, but like comparatively lower polys across the screen, and that might distract you from some stuff, and it might draw you in some more. It's like it's a fair technique. I mean, don't get me wrong, the game looks incredible just from a lighting standpoint alone and whatnot. I'm just saying, it's like, and it's like, it may not be far and away such a graphical improvement like we perceive it to be. It could just be because they're doing some tricks to
exactly,
which is fine and good. I mean, if the game looks good to, you know, just as you're playing it, that's fine, you know.
The game looks so good. That game looks so good. Like, it looks like a Bushido blade, only like I don't even know. That game looks incredible. I'm super excited.
I showed it to my parents.
And
I showed it to my parents, and I didn't tell them whether or not it was a game or a movie. They thought it was a movie.
Sure,
They thought it was a movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, when does this movie come out? Can we go see it this weekend? It's like, oh, it's actually a game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You can watch me stream it.
Yeah. All right.
And then do you guys see that Resident Evil 2 gameplay?
Yeah.
Dude, check that
I
out.
missed the PlayStation conference, which is
now they've got a bunch of stuff up of like actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Whew. Man.
Okay.
It's just like Resident Evil 4, like, but looks way better.
Yeah.
In Resident Evil 2 setting, so it's
okay.
It's like everything I want from a Resident Evil game. I didn't like 7 that much, so like going back to 2 with like this my favorite like style behind the back of Resident Evil games. Yeah. Oh man, just what a good E3 we had, man.
Honestly, yeah, it's like it's one of those ones where it's really exciting to be in video games right now, to be into it.
Yeah.
Because of all the cool stuff. It's like there was literally something for everyone at this E3. I felt like, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, there was literally something for everyone, which I think was important. All right, so does anyone Joel, you done anything from Ubisoft or EA you want to talk about at all?
Yay.
Yay. That's all I'll say.
It was okay. It was okay.
It was okay.
Okay.
6 out of 10.
It was a lot better than the one last year.
No,
I don't
Andrew,
remember.
what was your scale that you gave it?
Oh, I don't remember, man.
Something to do with like the coffee you were drinking and no.
Oh, I do kind of remember, but
wasn't it like Mickey Mouse's ears or something? I don't know.
No idea. I think it was like Square Enix's rating scale.
Yeah, I got a lot of good ones.
I know I gave for whatever like the ends of our scale were for EA. I know I gave it the Starbucks barista burn my coffee, or burn my espresso. That's what I gave EA.
That's right.
I do remember that.
Yeah, but all right, Joel, what were you gonna say?
So, I was just like, I feel like Andrew is traumatized.
From what? From EA?
I don't know. It just
He's got
it's just like they're trying to
It's like
get you to speak, and they're like, no, I don't want to.
I don't remember, and I don't even want to try to pretend to remember.
I wish we saw more Star Wars stuff, like not Battlefront 2, but like more of a review, something at least. Not it's here.
I mean, like the word on the street.
And I'm gonna kill you if we keep talking about it.
The word on the street is Vince Zampella didn't want to show off what they had so far for Star Wars because he didn't feel it was like in a good enough place to show off type thing. And so he wasn't really expecting her to come up to him in the audience and start grilling him, so to speak. But
Yeah.
that's the word on the street at least.
That's what I heard that Andrew Renee
Yeah.
talked to him before and was like, you gotta give me something, and
Yeah.
they ended up settling on what was shown, and
Yeah.
it wasn't great, but it was something.
Yeah. Who was she anyway? I'd never heard of her until now.
So I know she does a lot of work with What's Good Games, which is an all-female kind of
Okay.
like streaming and game service type deal.
Mhm.
And they have that, and she also worked at GameSpot. She's also been on Kind of Funny a few times. She's definitely been around the gaming scene a lot. And I think she was a great host. She did a good job of taking what EA had and trying to make it, something.
Exciting.
No, I think she did a good
different.
job. I was just wondering, like, I had never heard of her before, type thing. She was a new face.
Yeah. She's been around for a bit,
Okay.
definitely.
Is Morgan Webb still involved in the scene? Does anyone know?
Morgan Webb. I have not heard that name before.
Okay. Anyone know?
Neither have I.
Okay, never mind. You know what? Never mind. She was one of the
I'm
Let's Play
Googling.
co-hosts. The Let's Play
You
co-hosts.
know,
Okay.
Along with Adam Sessler.
Sure. I don't know. 'Cause I know Sessler doesn't really work necessarily like front facing anymore in the.
No, I know he does a bunch of like background stuff for a lot of.
Oh, she was on G4
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
and X-Play.
Yep. That's exactly where I'm calling it from. I'll watch that growing up.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah, I think
I missed that
Can you
channel.
guys imagine? Can you guys imagine if like Morgan Freeman hosted E3?
you want to go watch. What
I
was
just
it?
suddenly had this random thought. It's like,
Joe-
what if Morgan Freeman did E3?
You can go watch the Joe McHale conference he did a few years ago. I think he did Ubisoft's or
Oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
he did
Aisha
someone's.
Tyler do Ubisoft and like.
Aisha
Yeah.
did do, and those were good. I liked
Yeah,
her. as a
she was
host.
good.
She did very well.
Yeah.
But I think they had Joe McHale there for 1 year,
Oh, man.
and it was either that or the Game Awards, and he was just shitting on everything. Like it was like he did not want to be there, and he was
Poor
just
guy.
being such a jerk. And it was kind of like, all right, you guys messed up by booking him.
I know. Trevor Noah did the Battlefield 5 reveal. I heard he was
Right.
decent.
Yeah, they did a different approach to that
Okay.
reveal, or it was a little more sit downy and talk with the devs. And I think he's a very good interviewer and a very good speaker. So it was cool to see that, but I don't think it was what anyone was expecting.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, what? I thought you were just going to show a trailer and talk about the games, not necessarily like sit us down at the
Right.
table and really dive deep into
Mhm.
some of these things.
Okay.
I can't believe how little they showed of Battlefield 5.
I mean, it's coming out, so they're just like, well, I guess we're just
I
gonna.
know,
I
but
mean,
still.
What more is there really to show about it? It's
Yeah,
like, you know,
I
like,
think it's a known quantity, right?
Yeah, it's like we have an idea. There's plenty of like YouTubers like Jack Frads or Level Cap and everything that if you want to see more Battlefield 5 content, go watch them. Honestly,
Mhm.
so it's like it's like, and I think we're to the
Fair
point now where
enough,
it's like I think we obviously know what we're gonna get with a Battlefield game at this point, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
80 tier in the chat. Sea of Solitude looked good too, especially because they were German developers. Are you German? But also, yeah.
Yeah, they're cool. I don't know what that
it
is
was-
yet. Really.
Yeah, wanted. It's like I went bad.
Wait, that was
Overwatch.
E3, wasn't it? EA.
Yeah. That
Yes.
that was EA
Wow.
also. Yeah. I wanted to give the lady a hug. It's like we missed
Yes.
her dialogue due to, yeah.
Just us talking, right? And
Yeah.
I went back and I rewatched it, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, I missed this the first time. I was like, she's really like getting out there, no script. It didn't
Oh,
seem
yeah,
like. And
it's like she did really well, and it's like I wanted to go out
Oh,
and
yeah.
give her a hug, you know. She was.
Yeah.
But yeah. No. Sea of Solitude looks very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely, we'll see how it comes on gameplay. Maybe not great, but what they've sold me on the story. So
Yeah. You know what? So far.
I'll
so good.
leave all that to you because I don't like horror.
We're starting to
I'm
get
sad.
one thing that I really like is that we're starting to get a lot of studios give smaller indie devs their blessing, so to speak.
Mhm.
Maybe not in terms of like game direction or design or whatever, but like in terms of like funding at least, which can go a long way type thing to alleviate
Yeah.
a lot of stress or whatever if you know you're being covered. Or trying to
Sure.
make a game. It's like, look, we'll cover everything you need, just make the best game you can type thing. It worked out well. It's like Ori and the Blind Forest is probably the biggest success story for it.
I was gonna say maybe Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead is another big success story
Cuphead,
for it
yeah.
also. And it's like, while I do think we still more or less would have gotten the core game had like these big studios not picked them up or whatever.
Yeah.
The reason why they turned out so well, I think, is in part due to not them having not to worry about funding or what have you.
Sure.
You know, or it's like having that stress relieved and whatnot. And then I also think we're starting to see a lot of like more narrative, like creative games, especially from like some of these picked up indie developers, explore like feelings instead of ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a trend starting to happen in media also.
Yeah.
But-
Unravel
always good.
2 looked cool as well.
Oh yeah. Has anyone played that yet? Because that came out, didn't it?
What was it? Oh, Unravel 2?
2? Yeah. Nope.
No, I haven't had a
I'll pick that
chance.
up.
Haven't had a chance to either. All right. Well, there goes that one. Yeah, there goes that one. All right.
Oh, something I was going to bring up. I should have brought it up when we were talking about all those battle royales, but I was surprised that PUBG didn't show up on Sony's platform. It's not really an exclusive Microsoft, is it?
No, but I honestly think that if PUBG showed off a port to PS4,
Yeah.
it would be riots in the streets because the
People would be
Xbox
mad.
barely works. So it's like the Xbox One. It's like as
Sure.
much as I love my PS4 Pro and everything, it's like the Xbox One X is just on paper, you know, flat, plain and simple, the more overpowered console by comparison to the PS4
Yeah.
Pro and everything. And it's like, if not even the Xbox One X has a decent time running PUBG, there's no way that PS4 is gonna. There's no way PS4 will show well.
Sure. Okay.
Play well. So that.
And yeah.
Although I think you can probably go back to the pre-show and call me predicting PUBG to be shown off, or it's like announced at Sony or something for like
Sure.
PS4. It's like at the same time, it does also make sense to me that it didn't show because they have a lot bigger things on their plate, especially the banning issue, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, to figure out before, before
E3.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Before
it's
they
they're
announced
kind of
report, rather.
they're kind of associated with Microsoft anyway, so they would, if anywhere, they'd probably show up on the Microsoft stage or Xbox stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Where? So I know a lot of us here were underwhelmed with Square Enix's conference. Although I liked what we saw from so Shadow of the Tomb Raider looks good. You know.
Oh yeah.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider is good. And then Silent Man or whatever, or like the Quiet Man, whatever that game was called.
Quiet Man, I think you're right.
Quiet
Yeah.
Man.
Quite man, yeah.
That looked interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows what these things are, man? These are like we looked at Shadow of Tomb Raider, and that's clearly like a Predator game. But
yeah, it's like, and then Just Cause 4 is Just Cause 4. Like, yeah. But all right, and then we had this kind of, I don't want to say ninja drop, but definitely like, I don't think anyone was really expecting it or like called it.
no.
Yep.
So yeah.
Have we talked about the Call of Duty Royale?
Black Ops 4 Battle Royale?
We touched on it a while
They're doing
back.
a Battle Royale, aren't they?
Yeah, we touched on it a couple weeks ago when Black Ops 4, some more details first came out. I'm personally, it's called like Blackout Mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I will say that it's like I haven't played Call of Duty or it's like seriously been into Call of Duty or like really played one in a while. But I think Black Ops 4 is the one since at least Black Ops 2 back on Xbox that really has piqued my interest so far. So I'm really interested in seeing, because it does seem like a very toned down version of Black Ops 3 in the multiplayer, which I think Black Ops 3's multiplayer was very, very close to being good. I think it was very, very close to being good. And I think they might hit the right formula with Black Ops 4. Although there is news today that they are doing the whole like season pass model type thing, which people are very upset about because we have other competitors in the industry like Battlefield 5 moving away from that whole thing. So, yep, there's that to think about.
They didn't show off too much though at this year, did they? Like,
No,
there's
they
not
didn't.
a lot of Call of Duty, right?
No.
A little bit.
Didn't show any, did they?
A little bit at Sony's booth.
Yeah,
Maybe?
the only thing we got at Sony's booth was in that little like interim period.
Yeah.
When they were moving venues, and it was.
Yeah, true.
I think the biggest takeaway from that was that a lot of Black Ops 1 maps are returning, which is good. I mean, they were all a ton of fun, like Black Ops 1 maps returning, which I remember.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But usually when we see Call of Duty at E3, it's single player stuff, and if there's and then if there's no single player to show off, then,
Good.
So can we talk about Microsoft Stage really quick?
Hmm.
All right, they had like 50 some odd Xbox Ones behind Phil Spencer there.
Yeah, I
Or
did see
Yeah.
that.
Xbox Ones.
And
they
they
were
all
PCs,
look like
right?
PCs.
Yeah, they used 4 of them.
Hmm.
Like they used at most 4 of them. I was expecting like I don't know if they show off because like I think I counted it was 50. And as far as I knew about Blackout mode from Black Ops 4, it was going to be a 50-person battle royale. All right.
Okay.
So it's like I was expecting there to be a live demo of Blackout mode actually from Black Ops 4.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
Maybe
I
they did afterwards?
I,
I don't
I
know.
don't know. But yeah, it's like they had like 50 Xbox One X's behind Spencer there, and it was like, yeah, no, it was like 4
Not
of them got
using
used
them.
to show off Forza.
Yeah.
You know, 4
Yeah,
of them
Yeah.
got to show off
I
Forza.
don't know. Maybe Xbox has a big stage or floor presence, right? They're still
Yeah,
on
they
that
do.
floor, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, maybe because I know a lot of people like EA are doing their own things, but I was gonna say maybe they're doing their own thing in there and
Okay.
playing some kind of stuff for
Yeah.
the press or something. I'm not quite.
Yeah, it just kind of bothered me. I was like, that's kind of a waste, but
It
whatever.
was interesting. I didn't notice that, and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah. All right. And then, all right, Crackdown 3. Oh.
It looks like that game is finally coming together. To be honest with you, what they showed, I was like, this is the best. This is the most interesting stuff they showed. So
Yeah,
far.
okay,
I'm
that's
losing
fair.
hope fast on it.
It's fair. It's just Terry Crews yelling at me isn't a form of advertising that appeals to me, you know?
I like those Old
Like-
Spice commercials.
I mean,
I think
same.
they're fun.
But, like, it's like even before Terry Crews did Old Spice, it's I like the first dude they had, like Isaac, whatever his name
Yeah,
was.
yeah, he's good too.
Yeah, you know, the I'm on a horse.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, that was great. All right.
But yeah, I am surprised. I'm waiting for that game. I don't
How
know.
many times have they delayed it?
At least like 3.
Yeah, about 3.
I think it was supposed to come out in like 2016.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Wow,
It's
it's
20
gonna look.
it's
It's
like-
not gonna look good.
They were like a month away from releasing it in 2016 too. They were like,
Yep.
we're delaying it to 2017. It's like, oof. And then
Yeah.
it was like a month away from releasing 2017 also. And they were like,
2019.
we're delaying it to
Whoa.
2018. And then recently this year they delayed it back to 2019.
it was one of those things where like I don't know if you guys remember them talking like, oh, we're gonna using the power of the cloud, everything is gonna be
Yeah.
destructible, and you hear nothing about that nowadays. Now it's just
Yeah.
like we need to
think
get this game out. We need to.
I mean, to be
figure-
fair, at the
We need
time
to.
when like Crackdown 3 was first being showed off and everything, cloud
Yeah.
was a pretty big tech buzzword. It still kind of
yeah.
is, but not to the extent it is. Yeah.
And I mean, if they've developed the whole like graphical capabilities and everything around a 2016 model,
Mhm.
then what's it going to look like, and how's it going to play? It's going to look, I reckon, even though it's like got like a Fortnite style
Yeah.
graphical kind of, cartoony kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to look good, and I think it's going to suffer from because even with what we saw a couple of I saw a couple of frame drops as well.
Hmm.
It didn't hold up very well.
It's gonna be one of those games where when it finally does come out, if it does, when it finally comes out, they're gonna be like, "Wow, there was a reason this was delayed so long. It's not very good." Or
It's gonna be great.
It's like, I
Yeah,
see
or
what
like,
could have been. And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
that-
over it. Yeah.
yeah, or it's gonna be one of those games like, "Wow, good on them for letting them take their time. Its game is really good," and everyone will be happy that Microsoft.
Yeah.
Pulled
we're gonna-
through fun.
We're gonna delay it and we're gonna make it good.
Yeah. To be fair,
or it'll
optimization is
just
one of the
scale
last things you
bound
do
and jump off
in
a
the development
cliff.
cycle of a game. So
I wouldn't be surprised. I wasn't gonna be surprised if they full on canceled it, but
yeah.
now it seems with like what we saw, like maybe they actually have a game.
All right. So does anyone have anything else to talk about E3, or can we bury this year? Can we bury it?
Let's bury it good and dead.
All right.
Alright, we should hold a memorial service some other time.
All right.
A candlelight dinner or whatever it is. I don't know.
Candlelight.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
Guys.
yeah. What's up?
Oh.
Hey, what?
Yeah, Joel. You okay?
No, I was just saying. Avoid.
Okay, I've got no
Alright.
idea what you're saying,
Yeah.
but no worries. Sounds good.
All right. So has anything kind of been happening to you guys in the gaming sphere, I don't want to say we're all in our each little like separate communities, but like Andrew, you're super into fighting games type thing. So it's like anything been happening in that little sphere that you want to talk about a little bit?
Yeah, the E-League. E-League. I think it happened yesterday. So one of the E-League things going on. It was exciting. Got some high level play in Street Fighter Five.
Yeah, they're doing street. Yeah, okay, you just answered. My bad.
Yeah, they're doing like an E-League Invitational. So they're like doing like brackets and stuff, and everyone qualifies. There's gonna be like every week they're gonna do a tournament, and then
Yep.
get the top 8. I think there's 2 more or 1 more like bracket to get through, pool to get through. I don't know if you guys saw. This is totally different, but on Street Fighter Five, if you guys saw the Xavier Woods, who is a wrestler, versus Kenny Omega, who is also a wrestler in Japan.
Yeah.
They kind of squared off in Street Fighter Five, and made a whole show of it. And it was very,
cool.
it was very silly and a lot of fun, like listening to these guys just get on the mic and just be weird and crazy. So if you kind of like watching wrestling, let alone Street Fighter, I would implore you guys to watch it. It was very funny. And the commentators who were there did a great job. So check that out if you happen to miss it, because I think it just kind of stuck in there.
Okay. All right. Joel, anything from like the Pokemon sphere you want to draw from?
Not from Pokemon, but maybe MOBAs.
All right. Yeah, that works too. That works right. I hear
The living meme for League of Legends has finally been reworked. I'm just stoked about that.
All right. Living. I know a couple League of Legends memes. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about Aatrox?
Aatrox.
Okay. Yep.
He finally got reworked.
Nice. Okay.
That was a bad character.
I've got no idea.
He was a terrible character.
Okay, cool.
You hear Faker might leave SKT? What are your thoughts on that? No, nothing.
Honestly,
okay.
honestly, I'm not that surprised from the last Worlds. He seemed really upset from his loss. Like he broke down crying and stuff like that.
I mean, that's understandable.
So maybe he'll be like a full-time streamer because he's still one of like the best League players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, would it be? It's like, do you think it would be that Faker would go to a different organization, or would it be more that Faker makes SKT rebuild a team around him?
What do you mean by that?
As in, all right, so it's like, obviously we know Faker's not the problem in SKT type thing, right? He's the greatest player in the world type thing. It's like, I think a lot of Korean fans, or it's like a lot of fans in general, definitely think his team is letting him down to a certain extent and whatnot. And it's like, he's talked about, or it's like there are rumors going around that he might be leaving SKT. So it's like, what do you think is more likely to happen? Do you think it's more likely that SKT rebuilds a roster around Faker? Or do you think it's more likely that Faker goes to a different org with a different group of guys he might be able to jive with better?
Maybe Faker might just streaming.
Okay.
It's possible that might happen. Yeah, how like Faker thinks and stuff like that. I mean, I know he's a great player, but I don't know him like in person, so I got no idea about that. For SKT, I think they did like wrong. I mean, they made mistakes, yeah, but they're only human, and the mistakes that they made were, I suppose, really mistakes if I were to describe it.
Okay.
And it was just Samsung was just better. That was about it.
Okay.
And they just capitalized on SKT's mistakes. But other than that, I don't think SKT is that much at fault. Like it's not like Faker didn't screw up as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like he's perfect, but
right.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Sorry, it's really hard for me to think.
I get what you're saying. That's fine. I get what you're saying. All right. Anthony, anything from a sphere you're into you want to bring up?
Not really. No, I'm not really into anything. Like, I'm not into any multiplayer stuff, so I'm more single player orientated. So, no, I can't really think of anything. Haven't really, apart from E3, I haven't really been involved in the gaming industry that much the past couple of days. So
That's fine. Just need a break and whatnot. That's great.
yeah.
All right. One thing I do want to bring up is Blizzard is launching a new StarCraft circuit. It is called the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League. And upon first glance, it looks like it's going to be a replacement for the KESPA circuit over in Korea. And so, for those of you who don't know, a brief summary is that ever since the Brood War days, the largest Korean pro circuit to run in StarCraft, both for Brood War and 2, was KESPA. But last year it fell apart due to, and basically dissolved due to some issues that are very numerous and had been brewing for a while. But they all just finally came to a head last year and it kind of fell apart. Anyway, earlier, I think this was yesterday or the day before, Blizzard announced that they are going to be launching their own purely sponsored league, all of GSL and whatnot. But to sort of act as not as a replacement, but in the Korean region, so it is effectively a replacement for KESPA. This is the Korean StarCraft League, KSL, just GSL is the Global StarCraft League. Anyway, yeah, I think it's really good. I'm a massive fan of StarCraft, and so it's it's glad to see that in 2018 Blizzard is willing to invest a lot of money, because it is a lot of money to fund a new circuit and whatnot into StarCraft 2. So yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, so Anthony, instead of deals, we have something different, don't we?
Yeah. So we've kind of scrapped the whole deal situation.
All right.
And we're going with a more kind of for those who are watching upcoming games for the next week of what's going to be coming out and basically what they're about a little bit, a little bit of a blurb about what each one's about kind of thing. Yeah. We'll be doing this every week, and if I do stumble across any interestingly attractive deals, then I will be bringing them up. But this week, I don't have anything.
Oh, okay.
So coming out on the 19th, we have a game called Heimrich. Sounds like something German. It's coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One on June the 19th. It's set in ancient times, and you have to link together words to continue your journey.
Okay.
So it's like a bit of it was developed for Android and Apple phones and all that kind of thing. I think I'm losing my voice. And they've swapped it over to PC and PS4.
Okay.
Also on the 19th, we have The Lost Child, which is coming to PS4. Which is basically heavenly and demonic forces battling a war for our world beyond our perception, and you've just become its newest combatant, which sounds quite interesting. The trailer of it looks quite good as well. Sniper Rust VR is also coming out on the 19th. It's basically an 18-chapter globe-trotting virtual reality adventure set against an armed militia uprising across international borders. As the agency's most skilled hired gun players are called to put their sniping skills to the test in a first-person single-player campaign.
That name
so that's for VR. Okay, what?
That name.
How many buzzwords can you put together?
Yeah.
All
right. Anyway.
Well, if you want a better one, Anima Gate of Memories and Nameless Chronicles.
Wait, can you say
That's
that first word again?
Wait, that sounds familiar.
Can you
Hey,
say
what?
that first word again?
Anima Gate of Memories and Nameless Chronicles.
How's it spelled?
Anima.
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 Anima. What
have to have
about
a little bit of a harder A because it sounds a lot closer to something else.
No, I know what it sounds like.
Yeah,
that's how we pronounce our A's. Anyway.
Okay.
That's coming for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So it's a third-person action RPG that tells the story of a man without name, an immortal being cursed to walk through the world until the end of time. When a shadow of his past rises again in his path, he will be forced to take part in a conflict in which the very existence is in question.
Neat. Okay.
Lost in Harmony is coming for PC and Switch, the first musical runner. So it's basically a musical runner, as I just said. Dive into fantastic musical odyssey brought by an immersive soundtrack imagined by famous composers. So that's coming on June the 21st.
Okay.
Another kind of rhyming game, which is Musix, Musynx, Musinix actually. Originally for Android and OS, but they've ported it to the Switch and PC. They're looking at bringing it to the PS4 and Xbox One as well in the next couple of years. Mario Tennis Aces is coming for the Switch on June the 22nd as well. PUBG's Sandhawk map is also coming on June the 22nd, which we've spoken about a little bit previously. And also a new Gundam game is also coming on June the 22nd, which is basically... I can't really read that because it's got quite a few Japanese words which I can't pronounce, so I won't even bother with it. If you want to have a look at it, they've got a trailer on YouTube and whatnot, which you can type in, and it's actually called New Gundam Breaker. So and that's all I've got for this week.
All right, and then as an addition to this segment, does anyone have any games they'd like to recommend for this week? You know, maybe people looking to play something. Nope. Okay.
I gotta figure out some games I want to play myself.
Yeah, same.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
I bet that's a great recommendation.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'll
would give
play
that
that.
recommendation too. Actually, it's like Will o' the Wisp is coming up soon. The release date escapes me right now, but yeah, it's coming up real soon. So if you haven't played Ori and the Blind Forest, go ahead and play it. Do yourself ready for Will o' the Wisps. It's a great game. It's a fun game. It's fun for all ages. Okay.
I got a recommendation too.
Yeah, Joel.
The Banner Saga, the third and concluding of the trilogy, out sometime next month.
Okay.
And so I recommend playing the first two games as well. It's story, amazing gameplay, especially done by like a really, really small company. So definitely recommend that.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. Excellent. So I think that about wraps it up for the show, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. But really quick, a brief announcement from Power Up and the like Twitch side of things over at COG. We are happy to announce that with our E3 coverage, we have qualified for Twitch affiliate. So yeah, you are now able to subscribe to us and share us with bits. So yeah, if you're feeling awfully generous, we would sincerely appreciate that. And you get a cool custom emoji and whatnot